Hello.
Hi there.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, the Nerd Spectrum podcast is playing in your eardrums. No, this is not a hallucination. No, quarantine is not getting to you. This is real. We finally did it. It's crazy.
You can hear my words traveling through your ear like a little worm just gonna tunnel and just...
For those who don't know, my name is Colt Brew CJ Poirier. Joining me is Joe.
Hello.
And Finn's Potions.
Hi, hello, I'm Finn.
Hello. And we are all here as your source of to talk about geeky gamer goodness, what's going on in the world, and just to have some fun. We're just three people shooting the breeze and having a good time. So, before we get started talking about anything, Finn, Joe, how are you both doing today?
I am doing great. I got up.
Took a massive shit before the podcast.
Exactly. Right before the podcast, I had like a 3-minute piss. It was just like a pure, like,
It just didn't end. It was like the water.
It didn't end. I had to get some scissors and cut the stream.
Oh no. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know what? We're all here. We're all alive. I'm gonna take a quick moment. Don't you say I mean to us being alive? There's nothing else to add to that, Joe. We're going to take this as a quick moment to say, please make sure you're washing your hands. Make sure you're staying safe. As we're recording this first episode, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic is still going on. So please make sure that you're staying safe. Make sure that you're staying healthy. It is very important to everyone. And also...
wear your mask, bitch.
Yes.
Wear your fucking mask.
Wear your mask.
Stubborn piece of shit.
It's not that difficult. Just do everyone a favor. And
fucking, like, if you have to, if you don't have a mask, like, don't go out and say, like, I don't have a mask as an excuse. Fold up one of your t-shirts and wear it over your face. Like, it's better than nothing.
Until we get numbers down, please wear a mask. It'll do everyone and yourself a favor. And with that, let's start the show.
Yeah. So, have you guys even prepared, like, any topics whatsoever to talk about?
So, I was figuring... Okay, first of all, no. Don't call me out like this, okay? But I figure what we could do is we could sort of just talk about what's been going on, all the crazy stuff that's been going on in the world, just generally. I know right now with of course with COVID going on, we've had a lot of big things happening at home at streams. So we had recently IGN's just announced they're teaming up with Comic-Con, so there's Comic-Con at home now.
Oh, wait,
so
really?
They're going to be streaming San Diego Comic-Con now.
Huh.
But there's also going to be, they just finished last week, the Summer of Gaming event, which was a big thing. So a lot of big announcements, a lot of games got announced. We should probably talk about some of our thoughts regarding that stuff, because there was some big stuff that appealed to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest talking points were, of course, the PlayStation 5 was probably the biggest talking point.
Especially one that I am ready to talk about a lot, and you two already know.
Yes, we might as well knock it out now. Joe, could you
Crash Bandicoot 4?
This is this was a perfect day for us to record, because I don't know if the stars aligned for you, Joe, but for those who don't know, Joe is a big Crash Bandicoot fan. They literally just announced like 2 hours ago, as of this recording.
Is it Crash, the mobile game, Crash on the Run?
He already knows.
Yeah.
He already knows. He's on top of it.
I already know about that. They had Crash on the Run, It's a auto-running mobile game. Looks pretty fun, fairly decent. It's kind of run of the hill, but I mean,
Was that pun intended?
yeah.
Ah,
And another thing with it is it looks very interesting with how it's like works, I guess. I don't know.
I haven't seen anything about it, so I wouldn't know.
Finn, have you played Sonic Dash or Temple Run?
Yes, I've played both of
Okay,
those games.
think of Crash Bandicoot now. There you go.
I've played many hours of Temple Run in my days of being a freshman in high school.
Temple Run was when like Temple. I remember Temple Run was like it was Temple Run, Subway Surfers, and Jetpack Joyride. Were like the big games in my high school.
It's more like Subway Surfers, where it's like the 3-lane auto runner.
It's very, I don't know. Crash Bandicoot makes sense for me as an endless runner,
Yeah,
but a part of me wishes that it wasn't an endless runner and that it was something different.
I mean, I get that, but I mean, it's just for a mobile game. I mean,
True.
I couldn't really care less, especially because we have Crash 4 on the horizon.
Yes, Crash 4
Looks
it's about
amazing.
time. Someone made a comment on Twitter that I still think is absolutely hilarious. Where the logo for Crash 4 is very strange because they chose like for the subtitle it's about time. They decided to go with like some underlines and overlines
Yeah.
to like
Oh, God.
accent. And if you see them as underlines, yeah, the underlines are it's dick time. Because
Oh, because it's Bandicoot.
yes, so there's
Oh
an
my
underline
God.
under dick, which I think is just hilarious.
That
That
is
is
funny.
poor
Hold on.
logo design. That's
Here, I
another thing
gotta-
that happened. That's another thing that happened so
I
far.
mean, that could be. Who knows? That
Terrible
could be on
game
purpose
logos.
because-
Terrible
Listen,
game
Okay.
logos.
Okay,
But-
listen. I don't know.
Yes,
That could have been
yes.
on purpose because, like, with the fucking. I don't know if you guys know about the fucking Super Mario Galaxy logo on the title screen.
Oh
but, like,
yeah,
the
you're
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
You are
Gay.
Mr. Gay. Yeah.
Oh my God!
I forgot about
I just looked it up, and you're not. I just looked up the title screen, like the logo, and you're not wrong, CJ. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
It is visually probably one of. It is visually like I understand why they did it, but
I mean, yeah, it looks
now you
neat.
can't unsee that.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to everyone who now will only see it's dick time when referring to Crash Bandicoot 4.
Oh my
You Mr. Gay, it's dick time.
It's the crossover of the century.
God. Yeah, but so with Crash 4, it looks very. The concept of it basically is multiverse shenanigans. Whoa! And now.
Isn't it? I also realize how funny is it that funny how I'm bringing it back to the PS5 announcement. Remember that the new Ratchet and Clank got announced?
It
and
was
also was
about-
dealing with portals and multiverse.
And not only that, but it was like the same glass shattering effects too.
Man.
Yeah.
Game looks like a mess.
Who?
The new Ratchet and Clank game.
Oh
looks like
yeah,
a fucking mess.
I would
Oh,
agree.
yes.
I feel like they had too many visual effects on the screen at once.
It's like that game is a good way to get sensory overload. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. So I was streaming my reactions to the PS5 reveal.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I totally agree that the Ratchet and Clank reveal, very sensory overload. However, it did a really good job at showing like the lighting engine and that RTX tech or that ray tracing technology.
And
I automatically want to say RTX every time I talk about ray tracing, even though I know that's like those
Not,
two are
yeah.
completely different technologies.
Okay, actually, with Ratchet and Clank, it brings up another thing I liked about it. So you know how this new generation of consoles, the whole thing is like, oh, we have instant loading. It loads like that.
Yeah.
Right. I liked how, like, based off the gameplay trailer, they hide loading screens with Ratchet flying through, that like in between portal space.
Well, yeah, But it sounded like it was impossible for game developers to not make instant loading screens.
Oh
in
yeah,
this
I'm not saying
generation.
that. I'm just like I like in this new generation how we have hidden loading screens in a sense. You know, like another good example, Luigi's Mansion 3. The loading screen is hidden by the elevator. It's a natural. It makes sense because you're in a hotel and you take the elevator up and down. It can even like run around the elevator in real time.
Like, I think for my favorite example of a game that has no loading screen, no visual loading screen, is No Man's Sky. Like, despite all of the negative press that game had garnered when it first launched, technologically, No Man's Sky is probably one of the best games to come out in a long, long time. There's a lot of stuff that game, there's a lot of technology and a lot of development, like, versatility
Yeah,
that game has that probably no other game will match in a
I
long, long time.
I think the main thing is
The
they
game
were.
sucks.
Wait, what? What? Wait, what, Finn?
Too bad the game sucks.
Aw, it's in a much better state.
Yeah,
now.
no, they turned Finn. They seriously like repaired No Man's
I
Sky.
couldn't care any less, honestly.
I mean, I
That's
get
fair.
that, but I
I'm
mean,
not gonna.
like,
I'm not gonna say no. You go play No Man's Sky. I will say I have played it. I still think like there are some parts of it. I will say there are some parts of it that do kind of suck. The
but I
base
mean, like,
building is like fine, but it's not as in depth. It's more in depth than Fallout 76. That's for sure.
yeah, that's another thing. Like, the game was in the same situation as like Fallout 76, but unlike Bethesda, they actually took the time to fix the game and not throw in pay to win mechanics and make
I
the
wouldn't
game
say it was in like.
grindier.
I don't know if that's it. I would say it's not really an apt comparison because like Hello Games wasn't. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, Hello Games was doing mobile games at first,
Oh yeah, and they
and
only
this
have
is
like,
their
a group
first
of,
like
like,
full title.
yeah.
It's not mobile games. I think they were doing licensed games at first, and now this is their full like first. No
Yeah,
Man's Sky was their first like actual game. I
yeah,
think what ended up happening was they just overhyped it. I think they overhyped
Yeah.
it more than Fallout 70 than Bethesda did.
mhm, yeah.
Because
No,
I
it's
think
pretty
it's
promises.
because you have to remember when you're hyping a game for as long as No Man's Sky was hyped for, and
And you made
Hello
up
Games
a
they
bunch of
hyped it up for,
promises as well.
and then you completely go against like most of your promises that you make, like
Mhm.
that is a big betrayal. But the problem I think is with Bethesda when Fallout 76 happened was that it's such a credible studio who has such a large reputation behind them that it becomes even more disheartening when they go against all their promises. Because Hello Games is still technically, I would consider it indie studio, but now it looks like they've moved on from No Man's Sky, and now they have a new game that's coming exclusively to Switch, and it looks absolutely gorgeous, and it makes
Oh,
me
the
want to
gold
cry every
game?
time they talk about it, and I really want to play the game now because they just released the game.
Wait,
now.
isn't it with like the little hooded guy?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Game
know.
is like such a drastic shift too,
Oh
which
yeah.
is honestly very amazing. It's
What game
cool
are
to
we talking
see.
about?
It's very cool to see their versatility and what they're doing. I really hope we get to see more games like this uh, in the future uh, from a lot of studios, not just Hello Games. But
Mm.
I guess we can go one by one. I kind of know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the PS5 event. But Finn, what has been your favorite thing to come out from like the Summer of Gaming event?
It's nothing that I care to remember, honestly.
What about the sponge game?
Oh yeah, that's
Les
cool. I guess.
Sponge. Les Sponge.
Oh yeah, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Yeah, that game's cool.
Yeah,
I'm having a lot. Listen, that
Mhm.
game, people give it a lot of shit. Some of it
Uh-huh.
is deserved. But listen, More specifically, I'm talking about the original. Okay, that game is fucking great. People give licensed games a lot of shit, but Battle for Bikini Bottom is a genuinely decent game, and everybody should fucking play it. It's fucking good. I'm not saying you have to like it, but at least give it a try. And
Yeah, I played it on a GameCube emulator, and right now I'm only 3 spatulas away from the final boss, and it's been great fun so far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, except the Murmur Layer. I mean, not the Murmur Layer. Rock Bottom. Screw Rock Bottom. I don't like that place. I don't like that stage. Don't like
Bottom sucks.
Yeah.
And Joe, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Finn.
No, I was just gonna say, like, the only real thing I don't, only major thing I don't like about the game is that after the halfway point of the game, I feel like the game starts to slow down because once you get to the second and third parts of Bikini Bottom, the levels just become dreary and not very vibrant or fun. Because once you get to the second area, it's like Rock Bottom, Murmur Layer, Sand Mountain, and then in the last one, it's like have Kelp Forest, the Flying Dutchman's Graveyard, and being asleep.
Dream.
I mean,
yeah.
I think just Bottom's Dream is the only good one.
Does it feel just very samey?
No, it's just a lot of the locations lose the vibrantness of the first world, basically. And in the remake, they added this weird fog to Sand Mountain.
Oh yeah, they did.
I was going to say, I know a lot of people, their biggest talking point with the Rehydrated remake or remaster.
The bugs.
Yeah, you can beat the game in like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's
because there's a glitch.
Okay, I know how this works. So you can only do it on the PC version if you have a controller and a keyboard. You have to hit confirm on both your keyboard and controller, and the game will be like, "What?" And it'll allow you to warp to any location, so you can just hit the final boss and warp straight there.
Yeah. Let me see. Like, I think the speedrun record was like 2 minutes and like 15 seconds. Last I checked. Let me check.
Yeah, no, it's like it was
Taxi Glitch is now its own separate thing on the PC console. The current world record speedrun was today.
Oh, there was a new one today.
1 minute, 44 seconds, and 270 milliseconds.
Wow. God damn, okay.
Keep in mind the second place is 1 minute, 44 seconds, and 790 milliseconds, and that was from yesterday.
That's this. Wait, who did the run?
So Master G is in first, Awesome Brewski's in second, and then third it's Scoobler in third place with 1 minute 47 seconds and 420 milliseconds.
Honestly, I'm surprised. Like Shift has basically dropped the game. Rehydrated. Shift was the speedrunner, basically the head speedrunner for the original game, and pretty much had every single category under his belt. But I also wanted to say I have a few Twitter topics we can talk about for this stream.
I was going to say, Joe, is there anything specific from the Summer Games Fest other than Crash Bandicoot that piqued your interest?
Other than Crash, well, the answer to that is no. I only came for Crash. I only came for Crash. I got what I wanted, and I am very pleased. I got my Crash. I got my boy. I got him.
My boy.
Yes. Now the only thing that is left is for him to come back to us.
Do you spell him with a capital H?
Rayman, please. We've been waiting for you for hours, for decades, for years.
Holding him in my hand. If you want him so bad, why don't you come get him?
I'm running. Please don't squish my
Holding it out
baby.
of my hand.
No, don't
Squish it
squish
with my
it.
hand.
No. No.
It's fucking dead.
No.
Never have another Rayman game. I fucking killed him.
It's been 7 years, Finn. That was our one chance.
Well, too bad. I'm gonna eat him now.
No.
Cartoon chomp sound effect number 3.
Minecraft eat sounds.
Oh yeah,
they do.
Yeah, I forget. I forget. He always braps after eating his meal.
Oh, jeez.
Don't say. God, don't fucking say Brad.
Don't.
Please, don't fucking say
Don't.
it. Don't say it.
CJ,
I should give context for the audio listeners. The reason that we hate when people say brap is because it's an inside joke, and it's become an inside joke for way too goddamn long.
CJ, you just have to censor it every single time so people won't know what we're saying.
I won't censor it.
Just
I'll just have faith that you will stop saying it.
Brap.
The Nerd Spectrum podcast is powered in part thanks to Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor before, it's the easiest way to make a podcast and get it off the ground. It's free. The creation tools that Anchor provides allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. Not only that, Anchor has options for you to make money from your podcast with no minimal listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. You can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you to Anchor for sponsoring the Nerd Spectrum podcast.
Anyways, yeah, so I had a few people ask us questions on twitter.com for stuff to talk on the podcast. And and guess what? There were some people who actually said good thing, like good ideas, and not for example, let's talk about
let's not give names, but of the people who memed on us, but actual questions. So why don't you read them off for us, Joe?
I'm gonna name who gave us actual questions. Bryce Cube at Brycea asked, any game series that you think could or should get a new installment in the next few years?
Well, we know Joe's answer.
Well, okay, I have another answer, damn it. I have more interest than just Wario.
I just have more interest than just Activision properties.
Look.
Activision and Ubisoft property.
New Wario Land. Been too goddamn long. Shake It was visually great, and I want them to do more. But it's been 13 or so years since the last Wario Land.
Are you just saying that because of the big Wario meme that's been going on?
No, if you think I genuinely like the Wario series only because the look, or the Wario apparition, you're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. I'm gonna smite
only next Wario Land because of the meme.
I'm gonna do a full reading of the script right now.
Don't read it.
I'm gonna do
Sorry,
it.
you don't have time for that.
I'm gonna do it.
No, please don't, Joe. No.
Hey guys,
Joe.
Wario.
No, Joe.
Oh my goodness, guys, my stomach is growing eating an onion and rotten garlic salad. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, this is episode 2, and I'm not gonna do it all.
Yeah, I would hope not. Finn. Finn, what would you like to see get a new entry? What's your?
Before I say my answer, I will say I think it's funny that Joe has the script written down because I also, for a time, had the script to the brown brick thing.
Yes,
I like building with brown bricks in Minecraft.
But no, to answer that question, I don't really know. I mean, the only two series I really want to see get a new entry is like Castlevania. And when I say Castlevania, I'm not talking about the Metroidvania games. No, I'm talking about like classic Castlevania that we haven't gotten since like Rondo of Blood or some shit. Or no, Adventure Rebirth. We need another game like that because classic Castlevania is fucking awesome, and Curse of the Moon is the only thing that can fill that void, which, by the way, Curse of the Moon 2 is coming out, like, in a day or two.
I was worried you were going to say, like, Lords of Shadow 3. I was like, you played the last.
Oh, God,
right?
no, please. Don't need Lords of Shadow 3.
I'll admit, when they announced Lords of Shadow, because I remember when they announced, like, Lords of Shadow 2, and I was like, huh, that is a terrible idea for a Castlevania game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does make sense as a way to evolve the series if you want to change up the direction. I think my main issue with, like, when you take a 2D series and you put it into a 3D environment is, like, the combat just needs to feel good.
Yeah, and I think that may be a problem with a series like Castlevania because you have to think of the whip, like how like a whip is basically a straight line. That would be really annoying in 3D. Oh, Finn, are you okay?
You guys listening to the podcast can't see this, but Joe just fucking posted a tweet that Ninja put out, God knows when, of him saying, "Have a great weekend," said the troll face, and it's looking in the mirror, hogging with his troll face t-shirt on. Oh, shit. Anyway, continue. Oh, go ahead, go on, keep going, go ahead.
Yes. So, yeah, so like the whip in 3D feels like it's just because it's such a thin weapon, like compared to using like a sword in like 3D range, and I feel like that could create some complications unless they were to do some sort of like I don't know, like 2.5D. Think of like Kirby 64. You know, like what if like as you're going up Dracula's castle, like you're wrapping around the scenery? I guess they could do that. I don't know.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. But I think if I had to answer this question, I know a lot of people would be expecting me to meme and say, Minecraft 2!
Minecraft 2!
No.
Minecraft 2! Ah!
I think genuinely the one game I desperately want a sequel to is Ghost Trick Fan Detective from the Nintendo DS. I want a sequel to that so bad.
Is that the one with the corgi?
Yes, it is the one with the corgi.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
This game, it was a puzzle game where you play as a recently deceased man, and you have a ability in the afterlife called Ghost Tricks, where you can possess items and interact with them in their environment to solve puzzles to help solve not only your own murder, but to also stop other people from dying. And it's a really fucking clever game, and it makes me wish Capcom would stop working on like
ports,
fucking Mega Man
emulation
for 1 second.
Not even okay.
Like,
it's not even new Mega Man. It's just ports and emulation of old Mega Man. Not even.
And I'm just like, come on, guys, just make a new.
Put your big boy pants on, Capcom, and make us a new game.
Because honestly, I think Ghost Trick is probably my favorite Capcom franchise. I would say either we get. I would either want a new Ghost Trick game, or I would like a sequel to Catherine, like a full sequel. I know they just released Full Body for the Switch, Catherine Full Body Edition for the Switch, which does have its new DLC story content. But
I mean, like, there's not. I don't think you can really follow up to the story with that. I mean, I guess they could make like a sequel with. And if they do make a sequel, they should make a sequel with a whole new setting and new characters. But I don't think it should be a follow up.
True. It could be like a whole new like. It could like take place at the same time. A part of me likes the idea of like Catherine with a C. I realize I have to specify because there's like Catherine with a K and then Catherine with a C. Catherine with the C is the one who's on like all the box art all the time with the blonde hair. If she's just a part of me in my head canon of Catherine likes to believe she's the reason that causes all of it. Like, and she's just hopping from guy, like she's going from guy to guy and just making him go through this hell. Like she's just like some walking like demonic spirit who's just causing more men to lose their sanity.
God.
And I think that would be really fun just to see a sequel where it's Catherine again, Catherine with a C again, and she's just fucking with another guy. But I feel like I love Atlas games. I really do. I love what they do. I didn't really appreciate their stuff in the beginning. Like when I really started diving into games from their library, like Persona. But man, like as an adult, fucking love their games so much. And Catherine has probably become my favorite. So even if it's like it takes place at the same time, I would love to see what they would do with a Catherine sequel. But like otherwise, pretty much all the sequels that I could have ever wanted are already like either in development or coming out. Like Spider-Man PS4 is getting a sequel, but also not sequel because Miles Morales isn't technically like its own full game. Apparently, according to the devs.
Yeah, it's pretty much just an expansion and like reworking of the original Spider-Man.
But it gets its own box and its own title and its own release. Let's see what else.
Wait, not only that, and the fact they ported GTA 5 again and used only PS4 gameplay in the trailer with the PS4 logo on the top corner.
I don't want to talk about GTA 5 for another year.
Again.
I really don't.
It's literally Rockstar's like, wait, why make a
well,
new
it's just
game?
It's just another definitive edition.
Yeah.
And theft shit.
Yeah. But like what else is there? There's also, I mean, technically they already made a sequel to Professor Layton, and that was pretty good. I really enjoyed my time with that. I played it on mobile, and that was really fun. Yeah, and that was really fun. They've also Level 5 has been porting all of the Professor Layton games
to mobile,
except to 3DS, except the 3DS ones to mobile, and they've all played very well.
I think probably just the 3DS one just being a little complicated, because it didn't have gyro controls and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, what else is there? There was one other one that I wanted to provide an example to. I mean, technically, New Pokemon Snap. New Pokemon Snap was a sequel I've been waiting for a while, and that's in development now. But it's like, oh yeah, and No More Heroes 3. Sorry. What are they gonna? And Bayonetta 3. They really need to. I'm gonna go on a tangent real quick. How is it that you announced this game like 4 years ago, and then you give no updates on this game?
Wait, what?
Yeah, Bayonetta 3 was announced at the Game Awards like 3 years ago.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah, and there has been no updates on it since. There's been like one update on it, I think.
And it's like I remember the one update was like, "Don't worry, guys, we're still doing it."
I think they're probably waiting to, if and when they reveal the game, they want to like do it all. They want to just overload you with information and then drop a release date, like coming very soon, like a few months from now.
That's fair. I mean, I know they also were working on Astral Chain as well. Oh, yeah. So that was a big thing.
I have a feeling that they maybe want to pull a Mario, a Paper Mario, the Origami King. Ugh. Got it. Where they announced the game a month from the release, and they're like, all right, there you go. To get we didn't know there was a new Paper Mario though, so bam, new Paper Mario comes out next month. Matter of fact, comes out Monday.
Yeah, it'll be it'll be released the same day this episode is going to be released. That we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay.
But let's talk about let's try to answer some more questions. What else was there, Joe?
Yes. Here's a question. That's not a dumb question. The life cycle of the Nintendo Switch and its best games.
Huh. Who's this question from?
It is from Nick Cyclone.
Nick Cyclone. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Cyclone. I recognize you. The life cycle of the Nintendo Switch. Because now we're in year 3.
Yeah.
Or year 4, technically.
Oh, no, I mean, want to get technical. Yeah.
Yeah, technically.
Like maybe 5 or 6 years. That's
Yeah.
usually how long Nintendo consoles tend to last.
Yeah.
Because Switch Mini released last year.
Yes.
So we've already got our S version of the console. I wouldn't be surprised if this time next year
we get the new Switch, like the new 3DS.
No, like we already got a new Switch, but it was just with the better battery and the new processor. I think it wouldn't be a stretch, I think, to see like next year we'll see a Pro Switch where it's like new Joy-Cons, a little bit of a larger screen, and that's it. But I think right now we're at the point where I will say this. In hindsight, Nintendo releasing a new 3D Mario and a Legend of Zelda game in the same year, both in the same year, very good strategy to get as many people, like as many Nintendo diehards on your new console as possible, or to get returning Nintendo fans onto your console. The problem is with your 2 biggest games, and like we know Breath of the Wild 2 is coming, but I think we're at the point, and I think a lot of people would agree with me. We're at the point now where there's not that many interesting games coming to Switch, and
it's just kind of how Nintendo systems are.
Yeah,
you get
we're in like the dry spell.
Third parties, and then it just kind of like it just kind of waters down towards the end until the next console comes out. That's just
it's like that with every console. Think of Xbox; they always get their Halo, their Forza, their Gears.
No, I mean there's some consoles that have some really good games that come out at the end of its cycle.
Oh, I mean, yeah, definitely. But I mean,
Last of Us was for Naughty Dog, and I'm talking Last of Us 1.
I'm just saying, generally speaking, in terms. That's just the thing with consoles in general. Near the end of their lifespan, that's when they run dry. And sure, that doesn't mean that they don't maybe pump out a brand new, fresh, great game at the end of the life. It's just that game will probably be on the next generation, let's be honest. It'll probably also be on PS4. Like Last of Us, came out on PS3 and then immediately out on PS4.
I think what's happening with Nintendo is that I think the difference when it comes to of the big 3, like Microsoft and Sony, is they have a bunch of studios.
Oh yeah,
that they can make more games with them to at least fill the void. And so there's a lot of exclusive games that at least come out or are in development that really get people excited. With Nintendo, there's not that many. Like when you think of Nintendo's studios, the only ones that really come to mind are
level games.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 aside from Nintendo themselves as a developer.
It's not a bunch of internal. I think that's the thing with Nintendo. They have a bunch of internal groups of developers rather than large,
other AAA studios.
Yeah, because I can think of Activision. Within Activision, you have their own developer groups. You have localizations in Beanox, Toys for Bob, Raven, Infinity Ward. There's another one. Treyarch. Like they have a bunch of small localizations of developers that they've stretched across.
Like, I would think, like, the one studio that always comes to mind when I think Nintendo, I guess, like, Nintendo AAA studio is probably Retro,
Oh yeah.
probably, and that's, like, the only one that really comes to mind aside from, like, Nintendo themselves as a developer, and I think that hinders them a lot.
I think it's just because in the sense that Retro Studios are is the one studio that Nintendo trusts the most. I
True.
think when you think of it, what are the two main Nintendo IPs Retro handles? They handle
Donkey Kong and Metroid.
Donkey Kong and Metroid, and I think with Next Level Games, I feel like Next Level Games is going to be the next Retro. I feel like Nintendo saw their worth with Luigi's Mansion 2, agreed for them to do a sequel to that, and I feel like they're going to kind of fill in the shoes for Next Level Games. And with like other Nintendo IPs, like again, Luigi's Mansion, maybe something else,
Yeah. It does. I think that's Nintendo's like biggest fault, I would say, is they focus a lot on making like them developing their own games. They divvy up they make their own teams for games and internally, which is good because it means they're confident in their own products. But in like the games that they make, and they're confident in their team that they don't need to have like external sources. Like,
just be like slow, like you only
but it does slow down production on games. That's why it's like super big news when like companies like Microsoft or Xbox, they like say, hey, like last year they were like, hey, we acquired Double Fine. Double Fine is a huge studio with like a lot of big games, like
interesting IPs, like of course, Psychonauts,
and that like for them, like Double Fine has been, I would say, if I could see any developer go to Nintendo and them to have like a good click, Double Fine would probably be up there. Double Fine is one of those studios that's always like super creative to me. And I feel like if they weren't already signed with Microsoft, I would have seen Double Fine become like a Nintendo studio.
Or we can talk about the one Nintendo studio that fell from grace, Rareware. Oh my god.
I mean, yeah. But
the Rare story makes me sad every day thinking about it.
I don't think we're going to see the Switch as we know it. I think we're going to see it run for maybe 2 more years. I think if it starts to push 10, if it starts to get closer to a decade, I don't know. Especially because they never really resolved the Joy-Con drift.
The Switch could be a 3DS situation,
True.
Pushing it and keeping it alive while there are new consoles running side by side.
I don't know if there will be new consoles, though. I think the Switch is probably, until they do like another iteration of it, so like the Switch U, until something like that happens, I imagine that's gonna be Nintendo's next console. But I think the Switch, as we currently know it, it's probably only gonna be around for like another year or so, maybe even at most, I would say 5, if I had to ballpark. But what about you, Finn? What do you think?
Fuck the Switch.
Fuck the Switch. Why?
I love the Switch, but it's also stupid. Love-hate relationship with the Switch.
That's understandable.
Like, you love the games and stuff, but the hardware is just...
It's not okay. Listen, I want the Switch to be. I want the Switch to do good.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo needs to stop being so fucking stubborn and like, we need to innovate and do new things and not care about hardware. You are going to have to care about hardware to an extent if you're going to want to
Oh
Could
yeah,
be-
with like how underpowered the Switch is, especially coming up against the new modern like
Well,
PS5 and Xbox Sex.
well, I mean,
Series X, yeah, it's X, Xbox X.
you keep pushing this, Joe. It's not gonna catch on.
It is. It has caught on. I see everyone say it.
I will. You don't see me saying it.
Well, yeah, that's a you problem though.
Xbox sex, Xbox sex, Xbox sex.
No.
PS4 and Xbox Sex. Whoa.
Fuck.
We didn't even talk about the second half of the question, which was what's our favorite games on the Switch.
Oh, that's easy. Tetris 99.
Minecraft.
You know
Minecraft.
what? I would say Smash Bros. I still thoroughly enjoy.
Like if I had to be serious, I would say Smashes.
I will say Tetris 99 is one of the coolest ideas I've seen.
I was one of the people that was shitting on it.
Oh.
Tetris 99 is like the game. It's the only game on my Switch that I consistently log in for.
The thing is, like, Tetris 99 is the game where it's like, that sounds really dumb. And then you play and you're like, wow, that's really fun.
Yeah. I hate how fun this is. But it is, like, sincerely, is probably my favorite game on the Switch.
Well, I mean, what are some of your other games that you like on the Switch?
Like, just generally?
Yeah, just generally. Just some other games that you'd like.
Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
That's a Wii U game.
I almost don't want Mario Kart 9 on Switch, but I know they're gonna put it out regardless. I would say probably like I'm starting to love Ring Fit Adventure. I've been playing it a lot more, and I've been really enjoying it. Animal Crossing is another game I've started to fall in love with, despite how much I've like sunken into it. I've really begun to enjoy my time with Animal Crossing. I still don't know any of the villagers' names, but I do like me some Animal Crossing. I would also say I really liked the Daemon X Machina demo. I still haven't bought the full game. Keep in mind, like, Daemon X Machina was like my first delve into Gundam games, into like the Gundam genre.
Oh, did you hear they have Joy-Cons for that game, which are like a Pro controller split in half, and they?
Oh yeah, they've been on my Amazon wish list for like ever.
They don't drift, reportedly.
Yeah, crazy. But you know what else? What games do you guys enjoy on your Switch?
For me, it would have to be Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is really good. A lot of people gave it flack for the idea, and I mean, so did I. I wasn't open to it, but once I saw more gameplay and I tried it out, it was so much fun.
I played that on an airplane ride, and I sunk maybe like 3 hours into it.
Oh yeah, no, it
fun
is.
Game.
It is so much fun, and I think the Donkey Kong expansion is like one of my prime examples of how to do an expansion right.
And keep in mind, like, you can pick up Mario Rabbids usually like on sale at like GameStop for like $20.
Yeah, and that's for the Gold Pass version, which has like everything.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what my actual favorite game on the Switch is?
What?
Like super underrated. Nobody talks about it, and I think it's important that I bring this up and talk about it. I think you guys should play it. I think everybody should play it because it's really, really good. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Baseball on NES Online. Okay. Fucking
Baseball
great.
on NES Online.
Yeah, that is my favorite game.
You should play baseball.
I fucking love baseball on NES. Oh my god. Thank you.
But no, aside from Smash, like there aren't really any other games on the Switch that I enjoy right now, like in terms of exclusives. But I also enjoy playing, Battle for Bikini Bottom, and I've also been trying to revisit like Cave Story and Valhalla.
Oh yeah, I would say the one thing of Switch, outside of exclusives, they have a lot of good like ports and like indie support. They have tons of good third party support on the console, especially compared to the Wii U.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's do one more question. Why not?
Well, the only other good question that wasn't a meme was something we already talked about, Ratchet and Clank, as well as Crash 4.
In that case, is there anything that we specifically want to talk about? Oh yes, Paper Mario. I want to touch on Paper Mario real quick.
Specifically, like Origami King or something.
Yeah, specifically Origami King. Who here's not gonna play it?
I'm not.
I'm not.
Fuck that shit.
It's not even that I don't like Paper Mario. It's just the fact that it feels like, I don't know if you guys got the vibe, but
Here at Nintendo, we must innovate and do new things. Like, outside of the reveal trailer, I have not followed anything about the game.
I don't know if it's doing anything cool, but I really just cannot fucking give a shit about it.
I think my main issue is like, it feels like they're like trying to pull IPs out that will try to bring people in, and it's like, oh man, we really, what else do people like? Oh, Mario, make a new Paper Mario game. It's like, I mean, the game visually looks fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
but like, did we need a new Paper Mario game? I mean, like, Color Splash was okay.
Well, I mean, like, I would never say it's bad. I would never say it's bad to make a sequel, especially like I would thoroughly disagree with the idea of like, do we need a new series? Because like as you just said, Color Splash was okay. I think this is a good chance for them to kind of redeem themselves, and I would say they've kind of done that with what we've seen from the new game. Like, they got rid of the cards and stickers, but there do appear to be a few power-up based items, as well as several like, there appear to be upgraded items like the shiny boots and stuff, and a charm system somewhat reminiscent of the badge system. Though here's the problem, though. The one thing that sounds like it's gonna cause a bit of commotion, for some reason, they made it so the what was it? Yeah, the upgraded weapons, so like, the Ultra Hammer, the shiny boots, they have durability. If you use them, they'll break and you have to buy new versions.
Durability, baby.
They're not they didn't just bring them back and slap on like flower points, They just made it so they have durability. Yay!
At durability in an RPG, just like
Fire Emblem? Wow, they copied that.
Anyways, so I have one more good question, right?
Okay.
It's from Donkey Shispiddle. They asked, what happened to Donkey Kong Jr.?
I ate him. I roasted him and then I ate him.
It was very crunchy. Actually, here's a piece that I still have left.
Yummy.
Anyways, no, for real, to answer the question with the real answer, simple, Donkey Kong Jr. was killed behind the scenes and replaced with Diddy Kong. because
Yeah.
they were going, like, when Donkey Kong Country was in development, they redesigned Donkey Kong. They're like, all right, are we gonna put Diddy Kong in? And Rare was like, we're gonna make this new character. We're gonna design them, and like it's Donkey Kong Jr. And Nintendo's like, no, that's not Donkey. Just make it a new character. That's way too different from Donkey Kong Jr. to be Donkey Kong Jr. And Rare's like, okay, what are we gonna call him? Diet Kong, Dinky Kong.
Donkey King.
You know what? Let's call him Diddy. Yeah, he looks like a Diddy. Diddy Kong. Yeah, and that's how Donkey Kong Jr. died and Diddy Kong took over his spot.
Wow.
Well, I think on that note of murdering a child so that way you can replace them.
Who said like Donkey Kong Jr. was murdered? He
Both of you did.
He went to the farm. He went to the farmhouse. You know.
On that note, I think we are going to end this first episode.
Okay, cool.
On a somber note, can we please have a moment of silence for Donkey Kong Jr.?
Okay.
And that's it. Awesome. Thank you guys for coming on to the episode. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
No problem.
Joe and Finn, where can people find you?
You can find me on twitter.com at Joe_draws. I'm very epic, I'll have you know.
Look on your map. You have to go to a certain you have to go to specific coordinates. When you get there, you'll see a red X on the ground. You take your shovel, right? And you dig it. You will find a treasure chest. You open that treasure chest and you pull out a phone. And on that phone, you log into Twitter and you will find my Twitter account. My Twitter is at Fins_potions. I should say this, it's very important. Please only follow me if you're 18 or older. Thanks.
You can find Finn if you go to Washington. You go and you climb up the entirety of Poo Poo Point on the Chicharoo Trail.
And you can find me Twitter and Twitch as coldbrew_CJ. I go live on Twitch every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And you can also find me on Instagram at CJ_coldbrew. Thank you guys so much. Also, real quick, thank you to Level Up Coffee for powering this podcast. You can check out Level Up Coffee at levelupcoffee.com. Get your own bag of the Casual Gamer Blend. And with that, we bid you adieu. Till next time, have fun, stay safe, and goodbye.
Bye! 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 Bye!